right, well, this is the 5th year that we've done Coasterstock, and every year it gets bigger and better, more things are trying to incorporate into it, so we're glad that everybody can come out. By a show of hands, who has been to a Coasterstock before here? All right, that's pretty good now. Let's have the hands go down. Who is a first-time attendee? What did you do so far? Well, before we introduce our first speaker, our Vice President General Manager, Mike Koontz, just a couple of housekeeping notes so everybody can hear. Please hold your conversations. If you need to talk to somebody or something, take it outside the shelter so everybody can hear. We're also going to do a little bit different this year. We want it to be a little more interactive, so if you have a question for Mike, go to our Facebook group, the Coasterstock Facebook group. We have a place right there that says questions for Mike. So as Mike is speaking, I'll be looking for the questions, and then I'll ask some of the questions to Mike, and we'll try to get as many as we can, but we're going to try to just make it a little more interactive this year that way. So right now, here's Mike Koontz.
I'll hold it easier. Thanks, Don, and I just want to extend my welcome to all of you here this year for the 2019 version of Coasterstock. We're so excited you're here. I understand we have 25 states in the U.S. represented as well as Canada. Thank you for those who came from all over, and appreciate your support and enthusiasm for what I consider the best amusement park in the world, Kings Island. Where are my Canadian friends? All right, there you are, all over. Welcome to you. I'm sure you visited our sister park in Toronto, Canada's Wonderland.
Yukon Striker!
How is Yukon Striker?
Better than Bell Raven!
All right. So, this is my third season as general manager of Kings Island, and I'm having a blast. And some of you may know, not know, but I grew up as a finance guy, accountant. I started here at Kings Island in 1999 as the VP of Finance and Information Systems. I loved what I was doing. But being the general manager of a park that is very dear to me is it's a dream come true. And I remember coming to Kings Island the first time in 1974 when I was a teenager, very young teenager. And I was from Charleston, West Virginia. So to me, the amusement park was Camden Park. How many's been to Camden Park? Okay. That's kind of where I, grew up going as a kid. So coming to Kings Island for the first time in 1974 was, all I could say was wow. It blew me away. So fast forward 47 years later, and all the changes that has been made with Kings Island over the years, but then the classic rides that are still here today, the Racer. Okay? Have you been on the Racer yet? You want to go on the Racer? But I also remember in 1979 coming to the park with my, and I will say this, I got married in 1978, so I came to the park in 1979 with my wife, and we stood in line, I don't know, but probably in that 3-hour category to ride the Beast. 40 years later, the Beast is still the Beast, right? Nothing like it has ever been built, and I am very confident in saying probably nothing like it will ever be built again. So a little bit later, you're going to hear from Jeff Gramke, who is our manager of construction facilities, and you'll hear from Jeff. First of all, I was going to say, and I want to tell you that the good weather you're having today and tomorrow is because of me. I'm responsible for the weather. because we've had some not so nice days so far, but 2019. If you think about what we did this year, and really, internally, we looked at what we wanted to accomplish in 2019. It was to bring back some of the nostalgia, some of the things that made Kings Island so special over the years that maybe kind of gone by the wayside. Everybody says, why antique cars? Well, because a lot of people like me, or like some of you who grew up coming to the park and riding antique cars as a kid, one of the questions we got asked the most was, will you ever bring back antique cars? So, antique cars is back this year. Okay, it goes a whopping 6 miles an hour. Can you believe it?
Our original one only went 5. So
The original one went 5. We sped it up a little bit. And it's a 1/4 mile of track. Isn't that great? That's phenomenal. I couldn't be more proud of the team here and what they accomplished, particularly in the area of the park that I'll say was kind of forgotten. And I'm so proud of our maintenance team, landscaping team, and everything they put into bringing back some nostalgia with the antique cars, and so far it's been a big hit. The other thing is, we looked at International Street and said it's getting kind of tired, it's getting kind of old looking, so we wanted to bring back, in a new way, a much better look of International Street, repainting a lot of the buildings, putting some stenciling back on the buildings, flags representing the countries, the original International Street represented, which was Italy, Germany, France, Spain, and Switzerland. So, also restoring the fountain, and I'll say, the fountain was in operation, had been in operation since day one, but we're almost finished with all the programming, everything that's going into bringing. Well, I saw the other night, I think it was Wednesday, I came in for a preview of what we're going to see as the fountain show, choreographed with fireworks, etc. It's going to be phenomenal. And the glockenspiel, I'm so proud. I know some of you saw that. Who did the chicken dance? All right. I have seen so many guests, doing the chicken dance, and I just I grin and I chuckle every time I see it, because it's great. And it's just one of those little things that our tech services team, our sign shop, our painters, fiberglass people put so much time and effort into restoring that and bringing it back. So then, in addition, we rethemed a restaurant. We're going to hear from Chef Major. Chef James Major, right after I get done speaking. Rethemed our restaurant to Brew House. It's getting great reviews. Chef and his team are doing a great job. And finally, I'm very excited, those of you that are from the area, that will be able to come back June 15th to July 7th for Grand Carnival. It is going to be so special. Any questions, Chair?
Yeah, we got some great questions rolling in. The first one is, what is the most amazing part about Kings Island that you love the most when you're here?
First of all, some of this year, the changes I just described to you. And I'll tell you a funny story. So, we got a lot of criticism, both internally and from a lot of our fans about taking the trees out around the fountain. And I will tell you, there's 22 brand new trees around the fountain, more trees than we had before. So every evening after we planted those trees, I would go out on International Street before I go home from work, and I became the tree whisperer. I'm like, please, come on. I want to see leaves. Let's grow. The leaves are out. The trees are going to be gorgeous, particularly in the fall. They're autumn leaves, maples, so it'll be a nice, bright, dark red in the fall. But other than that, what I enjoy the most is walking the park interacting with our guests as well as our associates. And I know some of you, I do pay attention to social media, and I see some of your comments, and I want to thank those of you who say, take the time to thank the associates at Koontz for the work they do. And I'm telling you, that means so much to them, when they get those compliments. So thank you for that.
Right, the next question, do you ever see the park expanding hours like Disney with after hours for a special price? They could envision this for some long summer nights.
I was at Disney in February. I actually went back in June. You think I'm crazy to go to Disney? I work at an amusement park. Why in the world would I go to Disney in June when there's like 5 gazillion people there? I think Disney's different, than us. We do extended hours on select nights, in late June through July. We keep the park open until midnight. We keep the park open until 1 a.m. For runs. A lot of it just comes down to staffing, and a lot of it comes down to making sure we get the maintenance team with proper amount of time to maintain the rides so that they operate. So, do I see it ever happening? Possibly. Is it going to happen next year? Probably not.
The next question, will there ever be a Kings Island resort style accommodation, something affiliated directly with the park?
We look at, we go through a long-range planning process, and we discuss a lot of things. A lot of things like campgrounds, hotels, out-of-park experiences that, can enhance the overall experience of people coming to Kings Island. So, one of the issues we face is there are already a lot of hotels in the area, particularly Gramke Lodge next door. Hotel is a big investment. Quite honestly, for that big of an investment, I'd like to put more money into the park, and do more things in the park. But will it ever happen? Possibly.
All right, this one, I'm just a messenger on part of this question. What has been your crowning achievement so far since becoming GMKI? And to follow that up, what has been your I messed that one up moment? Your I messed it up moment. Your best moment, I messed it up moment. I'm just a messenger of that question.
So far, the crowning achievement, I think, was, my first year as a GM, and, opening Mystic Timbers to great reviews. Thank you. And then, in August, with the Golden Ticket Awards, Mystic Timbers winning Best New Ride of 2017. So, to start out your first year as a general manager doing that, it's kind of like, okay, I got to figure out how to beat that. I'd say the second thing was Winterfest. Bringing back Winterfest in such a big way, and it blew me away. And I heard from a lot of you, a lot of our guests, that it was amazing, spectacular. I mean, there were a lot of words used to describe Winterfest. Better than ever before, better than imagined. So we want to keep bringing those experiences to you that enhances, not only the experience of the park, but those of you who are season pass holders, keep it enhancing the experience, like Grand Carnival will be this summer. And then what's my stupid moment?
Your most messed up thing that you've done. Do it again, would you? Okay.
Let me come back to that. I'll think about it.
All right. Can we get the train experience like it used to be, something down the road on that?
It's funny. I had a conversation with our live entertainment manager probably in the last couple of weeks about that exact thing. It's something I definitely remember as a kid growing up, coming to the park, and I think those those special moments. And again, you can see from the glockenspiel and just some of the other things we've been doing this year. Definitely looking at things like that, to enhance the experience. What did I miss? I'm still thinking. I don't like to talk about my mistakes.
Considering the success of antique cars, do you foresee the park bringing back more of the nostalgic original type rides?
Yes. Some of the old nostalgic rides, they don't make it anymore. It's kind of like the Monster. The Monster is original to this park, and it's one of those rides that we look at constantly, how much time it goes into maintenance and so forth. But it's an original ride, and you look at that, and there's a lot of nostalgia with that. The Banyan Fur is another one I think of that is nostalgic. So we're always looking at what's available and what we can do.
And this will be your final question. This is one that multiple people ask. What's your favorite ride in the park?
Well, I would have to say my favorite ride, is, if there's a ride that I would say I would go out and ride right now, it would be Mystic Timbers. I enjoy riding the Beast. I enjoy riding Racer. I enjoy riding a lot of our rides. Unfortunately, I don't get to ride a lot, because I'm working.
What is designing? That wasn't a question. Working and designing.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Last time. That was the last time. Okay. So, again, thank you for coming. I know you've got a busy agenda. I look at the agenda and I'm like, wow, Don and Chad and others, their team have done a great job of packing a lot into these 2 days. I know you're not going to be bored. Tomorrow, I'm sure you know, but we have a esports festival here tomorrow called Pivot. It's going to be the first of its kind in any amusement park that we know of anyway. It's going to be a great time, so if you're a gaming enthusiast as well as a coaster enthusiast, and you have time, you may want to check that out. So that's all I have. Again, thank you for coming. Thank you for supporting Kings Island. We appreciate you, and look forward to seeing you. Those of you who are here more than others, look forward to seeing you out this summer. Thank you very much. So last year, we were looking for an executive chef, and this guy that's standing before me applied, Chef James Major. And, I can't tell you, there's not a better guy that we could have had to come and be our executive chef. His passion for what he does, is exhibited in, everything he touches. So please welcome Executive Chef James Major.
Thanks, Mike. Wow. Man. Listen, don't let what you see on TV fool you. We're not scary. That just kind of choked me up a little bit. Thanks, Mike. Hey, so first of all, I want to thank, this is year 2. You see I feel a little bit more comfortable maybe for the folks that were here from last year. But first of all, I just want to thank each and every one of you for the amount of support that you've given us in the food and beverage team this past year. It has been such a motivation to just keep moving that dial and keep striving forward. So I just want to applaud all of you for this wonderful support that you've been giving us. So keep it up, keep it up. We get the trade emails and things like that. Being new, I'm not from amusement parks, like you guys all know, I came from baseball parks. But we all had the same awards. and I saw this thing come across, and it was the Golden Ticket Award. And I was looking through, I'm like, all right, it's probably like rides and things like that. And then I saw the food thing, and I went, oh my God. We can get a golden ticket on the best food and amusement parks. Sold. So that's where we are, that's our goal every day, is everybody that comes in is to have just a great food experience. You know, we serve millions of people a year. We're really proud of the stuff we've done. You know, has anybody been out to the new brew house? Right. You know, I got to tell you, I got Chef Nathan over here and the rest of the food and beverage team that really pushed forward and wanted to make sure when you sit in the brew house, you know, when you come to an amusement park, I always say when I was younger, is you can get a break away from the regularness of life, and it transports you to a new place. You can imagine you're on a fighter pilot plane or something, or you're racing through the coasters. I always had a good imagination when I was a kid. And but you know, the idea is when you're eating the food is to kind of transport you that, hey, I can't believe we're in an amusement park eating the food. This is amusement park food? That's what we're going for. Everything we touch. As much stuff from, you know, our burgers now are Ohio proud burgers. So these burgers are, the cows are raised in Ohio, they're packaged in Ohio, and they're fresh. Fresh. Everything we can do. We have a produce company now. It's coming from 100 miles. So whatever we can get that's in Ohio and it's a produce, it's going to be a fresh produce and it's locally grown. Our chickens, the rotisserie chickens that we're using now, once again, Ohio chickens, they are no hormones, they're vegetarian feed, so we're really proud, and that's the direction we're going with it. The tri-tips are Angus beef, so as we do everything is for your guys' enjoyment. So I just want to take a quick talk to say thank you. I hope you enjoy everything. If you haven't been to the brew house, please get there. If you haven't got the homemade donuts in Rivertown, what are you waiting for? And I just want to thank you so much for all your support. Have a fun time this weekend.
Everybody enjoying the lunch so far? All right, our next guest speaker was involved in designing the beast. So there's only 2 people that are involved. How cool would that be? I mean, you know, you're someone, you see that ride, you hear people talking about it, 40 years later it's still being talked about in the same kind of way. You should know that you had something a lot to do with that. So I'd like to introduce Jeff Gramke. And if you have questions for Jeff, same thing on the Facebook page. There is a post where you can now submit your questions for Jeff. Now, after he gets done speaking, he'll be available to sign the mugs that you purchased. Only the mugs can be signed, so you want to bring those mugs up here as soon as he's done. And then the beast tour today will begin at 2 o'clock. And that tour is going to be a little bit different than what we've done before, so you'll be able to move around a little bit more on your own. It won't have to be station to station. You can go to different areas as you'd like to. If you want to stay at the first drop-in shot, you can do that. So it's going to be a little bit more open for you to kind of get the shots that you want to get, more so than having to go where the herd's going. So right now, here's Jeff.
Thanks, Don. Welcome, everybody. I know everybody else has been welcoming you, but I'm going to welcome you as well. And I'm Jeff Gramke. I'm manager of facilities, engineering, and construction here at the park. Last year, the park was under construction in 1971, and here I am today. I thought when the park opened up, I can't be here for about another year or two doing some as-built mapping. We were surveyors. There were some surveyors on it that worked on the park when it was being built. And they kept us on to do as-built mapping primarily, and after the park opened up, we realized we needed to make it bigger. So what was going to be just an as-built mapping thing turned into careers. So here I am all these years later. Al Collins, who was my crew chief surveyor, retired in 1988, and unfortunately I was passed away. But you never know what you're going to get into when you get into engineering. I never dreamed I'd be in an amusement park my entire career. It's been a great ride. I love it. Had a huge amount of experience with different things, different firsts. Kings Island has done so many firsts in the industry for a little Midwest park. To do as many firsts as we did is amazing. We did the first suspended coaster, we did the first stand-up looping coaster, we did the first shovel loop coaster, we did the longest wood roller coaster in the world. We've done a lot of firsts, and that's unusual for a small park. That's a relatively small park. Usually when you think of first, you think of a Disney or Universal or something like that. So the reason I'm here to talk to you today is, as you mentioned, I'm one of the co-designers of the Beast. In the mid-70s, the company wanted to build the biggest wood roller coaster in the world, so we went to John Allen from Philadelphia, the Baldwin Company, as most of you know about, and tried to get him to design a ride. He was semi-retired. You gotta remember back then we didn't have computers, we didn't have scientific calculators, we did everything with slide rules and log books, and did every calculation one at a time, wrote the answers down on paper, and had no way to go back and check to see other than doing the calculations again by hand. So we came back from Philadelphia after we went up there to try to talk him into it, and he said no. He was semi-retired, didn't want to do it. So him and his wife came down to the park the following weekend, and we kind of showed him the site. We had done some aerial topography mapping. Al and I had surveyed the whole property to come up with an aerial topography map. We tried to get him excited about it to do it. He asked him if he knew anybody else that could do it, and he said no. So he took a menu from the international restaurant, flipped it over, and wrote a whole bunch of formula on the back of it. Just a whole bunch of math formulas. And handed it down and said, you guys can design the coaster yourselves. So nobody thought much of it that night. But the next day when we were looking at it in the office, the formula weren't that dissimilar from what we're used to doing as surveyors anyway. You know, essentially a roller coaster is just a fancy highway or a railroad. There's really no mystery in the math. It's just a lot more fun. So John gave us a whole bunch more information. We didn't, believe me, we didn't design it all, those few things that he gave us. He gave us a book, and essentially it's a book that he had developed over his entire career of how to design roller coasters. So he gave that to us. He was semi-retired, and nobody at PTC was going to do it anyway. So he gave us that book. And with that book, we were able to learn all the tricks of designing a roller coaster that John did learn in his whole career. Al and I used to say that John had forgotten more about roller coaster design than most people ever knew. So he was really, really good. He knew everything. Wood properties, steel properties, oil viscosity properties, steel properties. He knew everything. More than you ever needed to know to design the ride. So we found out real quick why John didn't want to do it. It was very, very intense calculations that we had to do. And again, you don't have a computer, you don't have a scientific calculator, you don't have anything. So what we devised is Al would design a small section of the ride, and then I would do an adjacent section, and then we'd switch work. So I would check his calculations and he would check mine. Once we were confident we were right, then we'd go to the next section. So that's kind of how we did it. And as surveyors, we not only were doing the calculations for the ride, but we were going out in the field and doing preliminary layouts of the ride in the woods with the directive to not take down one tree. So the idea was to try to build this thing in the woods without taking down anything. So when we first started doing the design, if there was a tree that was in the way that we didn't want to cut down, we'd go back and redesign again. Again, everything you change in a design affects everything from that point forward. So we quit doing that real quickly too. We decided, you know what, if we have to take down a few trees, so be it. But it took Al and I took us about a year and a half to design the ride. Now that's not all we were doing. We were doing other projects in the park as well. But it was very, very labor intensive to do the layout and the design of the ride. It's kind of unique in the industry that a company would design a ride, build it themselves, and operate it themselves. Those things never happen. We're probably the only park that I know of that's ever done that. And the Beast is still there. So, anybody not like the Beast? Oh, come on, somebody must not like it. Everybody loves it. Hey, that's right. Well, remember the vote to get us the Golden Ticket Award for the best wood roller coaster in the world. So anyway, a lot of people don't like wood coasters. Wood coasters are totally different than steel coasters. When this park was built, there weren't very many wood coasters being built in the industry. Everybody had gone to steel because they wanted to do inversions and loops and boomerangs and stuff like that, the short, soft shutter loops and those kind of things. So the industry had kind of gotten away from woodies. Everybody thought woodies were old-fashioned and nobody was interested in them. But since Coney Island was our parent company when they built Kings Island, Coney Island had two really good wood roller coasters down the river. And they wanted to get that same feel up here. We moved a lot of rides from down there. We moved a lot of the ginkgo trees in the mall from down there. We made our Coney Mall look like Coney Mall looked down there. So we wanted to build wood roller coasters. And after we did that, after John Allen designed the two wood coasters that we opened the park with, everybody loved them. So the whole industry then kind of changed. And now, even to this day, there's about 50-50 of wood coasters versus steel coasters that are being built. So Kings Island was kind of the impetus for getting back into doing woodies again. I myself like woodies. I like the steel ones too, but I like the shaking around. I like to feel like you're going 100 when you're on 140. With a steel coaster, you can be doing 70 miles an hour and you feel like you're flying in an airplane. You don't have a real sense for that speed. Where with a wood coaster, you definitely have the sensation of speed. Because you're rattling around a lot. So, it's a lot different system. Wood coasters are really steel coasters, believe it or not. Most of you know that. It's a steel track, steel wheels, very little friction loss. So we only have to build a wood coaster about 3 foot tall for every 100 feet of length. So a typical 3,000 foot coaster is only about 100 foot tall lift. Steel coasters actually have to build those about 2.5 times as tall to get the exact same ride. And the reason for that is because the wheels are loaded tight against the track and they're a man-made plastic material, some kind of nylon or some kind of plastic material. So there's a lot more friction loss. And the wheels are very tight against the track so you can do inversions without banging around too much. So they're just totally different. They're basically all gravity machines. Everything is based on gravity. A coaster that works here wouldn't work any other planet, wouldn't work anyplace else. So all of us right now are falling towards the center of the Earth at 9.8 meters per second squared. Doesn't feel like we're falling very fast, does it? But believe me, we are. If we weren't falling, we'd all be flying off into space, hitting the roof. So we are falling. So gravity is an acceleration. It doesn't matter what the train weighs. When we were designing the ride, we didn't care what it weighed. We didn't care what you were all weighing when you rode it. Newton's law says it doesn't matter. And in a vacuum, it doesn't. It doesn't make any difference. You can drop a bowling ball and a 747 off the building and it'll hit the ground at the same time. So when we didn't do the dynamics, we weren't worried about it. But we were here to calculate for what the structure and the vehicles feel because they do feel the loading. So it does make a difference. We all know with wood roller coasters that they run better when they're fully loaded. You have a lot of weight in them. Weight doesn't make any difference. When you're doing the calculation, it doesn't make any difference. But because you have the weight in it, you're not getting all the frictions and all the little rattling around shocks that you get with an empty train. So it smooths some of those out so you're not getting frictions that you really can't calculate. So we know the trains feel better when they're loaded. So,
ready for some questions? Yes? Okay. A couple people asked this question, and I'll kind of combine them because they were asked differently.
okay.
What made the park go with 4-bench DC trains instead of 3-bench? And then the follow-up question was the decision to change to the 3.
Great question. When we built the ride, we had a 7,400 foot coaster. 3.5 minutes, 3 minutes 40 seconds. That's a whole lot of time. And in order to get the capacity that we wanted to get, we wanted to do 4-seat cars. Well, we did the 4-seat cars, and BTC had never done the 4-seat cars like that before. And they gave us a design criteria for how much they would articulate. In other words, how fast you could do the transitional banking. Well, when we got the trains, when we tested them and lifted up on one corner, they didn't flex as much as they should have. So what was happening with the 4-seat cars is the trains were going around the track okay, but one of the 3 opposing wheels was coming up off the track. And then we were getting into the unstock wheels. So while the ride would have gone fine that way, it wasn't as comfortable for some people because whenever a wheel comes off the track, guess what? It has to go back down. So when it came down, sometimes it came down kind of hard. So we decided, okay, we hit an extra train anyway because we bought the ride to do 4 trains. When the Beast was originally designed, we had 4 trains on one track. Never had been done before. So we had to have a safety system designed for that ride, just to do that. So we found out early on that because of how long it took to get people in and out of the trains in the station, it didn't make sense to run 4 trains. We were getting setups, and a lot of you know what that means. People were stopping on lifts, they were stopping on the brake, they were stopping on the ready bait, coming into the station. So rather than having people stopping all over, we were able to go down to 3 trains, keep all of those 3 trains moving, and it made more sense. So we took that 4th train and started cutting the vehicles down. It's essentially the same design from PTC, it's just shorter. So we converted them and that made it smoother and made it a lot better for everyone.
Okay, were there any elements added after construction began that were not in the original plans?
Yeah, that's another good question. Yes, actually the tunnels. We were not originally planning to do tunnels on that ride. We had never even conceived about doing tunnels. We just wanted to build the longest wood roller coaster. Well, in the design, because of the topography, we were able to follow the topography for the ride really closely. But because of where we wanted the station to be and where the drop had to be, we had to either go down underground with the first drop or raise the whole lift up that amount of distance, which would have raised all the structure for the rest of the ride. So in looking at that and looking at the pluses and minuses, we decided it'd be better to dig a hole and spend that money and not build a whole ride, 30 feet taller. So that's what we did. So we hired a local engineer. That was the one thing that we didn't design in-house. His name was Jim Koski, and he designed the tunnel for us. And then in the design process, we found a couple other buildings in the back of the ride that were also problematic for getting the topography to work right. So we decided to do some open cuts and just do retaining walls. Well, it wound up to be less expensive to put a cover over those than to make the retaining walls strong enough to hold the dirt back. So we actually created 2 more small tunnels, and then after the fact, everybody wanted to make them dark, so we enclosed those with wood. So that's how the big tunnel in the middle, before you get to the second lift, was created. So yeah, there were quite a few changes after we started the design, and even after we finished the ride, we enclosed some tunnels.
All right, how was the friction coefficients determined for the ride, and did these values change with the change of the trains?
Yeah, no, it really didn't. The friction coefficient is a standard thing that PTC had come up with for their trains. They knew what the friction was, and it's a constant that we used in the construction and the design of the ride. Again, it kind of oversimplifies it, but it's essentially 3% loss. It's about 2.7 to 3% of friction loss on a wood coaster. John had developed that over the years, and there was no reason for us to check it because we knew it worked. It's ironic, in the mid-'80s, I had a computer program written to design wood roller coasters. We were going to build a wood roller coaster at the park, and I didn't want to do it by hand like we did on the beach. So we had a local programmer do a design program for us. Unfortunately, it's a DOS program, believe it or not. It won't even run on my new computers. I have to use a DOS emulator now to even run it. But we took all of those formula that John had given us and created this program. Well, the PhD programmer that was doing it said, well, wait a minute, this isn't a real physics formula. You've got, this doesn't follow the laws of physics. And we said, well, yeah, but it works with coasters. So we actually had to show him accelerometer testing that we had done on other coasters and what the calculations that we predicted those accelerometer readings to be to prove to him that they were accurate. So, and it's still a highly accurate program that we use. And the friction is about 3%. Again, a steel coaster is about 7 to 7.5%. So it's quite a bit more.
With the ride being on uneven terrain, what accommodations were made to ensure structural stability, and did the design on the terrain prevent other challenges not seen with the design and construction of the racing?
Yeah, the biggest problems were for yours truly. I mean, the hardest thing about the terrain was for us to design it to fit the terrain and to do the surveying to make it happen. Again, we didn't have computers, we didn't have this and that to do surveying. We had to measure everything with the tape. And the tape, you have to pull 20 pounds of pressure on a tape for it to be accurate. And it's only accurate at 70 degrees temperature, 70 degrees Fahrenheit. So for every degree of temperature variation above and below that, we had to make a calculation change for how long that tape is. So the tape even changes shape and length depending on temperature. So when you're going down a hill, you can't just measure down the hill to get to the point. You have to measure level for every point going down that hill. So if we were going 100 feet down a big steep hill, we would have to maybe put in like 6 stakes to go that far because we had to keep our tapes level. And it's hard to pull 20 pounds of pressure holding a plumb bob over a nail up this high. Popeye would have a hard time doing that. So we wound up breaking a lot. So that was the hardest part. It actually made it a little more difficult to build the ride because of getting access. to get to it to put the vents up. But what we did, we let the people that were installing, the crews that we had here at the park designing the foundations, we let them put all those in without shooting any grades on them. So rather than giving them an elevation for every vent leg, we let them put the concrete in to make it fit the ground. So we built all these boxes and fit the ground. Then Al and I went out and did an as-built of everything to get the elevations, and then we designed the vent structures to go on those. So it made it a lot easier for the carpenters. They didn't have to do plus-minus calculations on the vents. We made them little pictures, and they could design the vents flat on the ground and then just stand it up on the concrete. So the only things we really had to shoot elevations on were the batter braces. Because the batter braces are at a fixed angle off the ride. And depending on what the topography is, they're either going to be short or they're going to be a lot longer and a lot farther away. So we had to do grades on those. So what we did is we built the ride first, and then we went back and did what we call slope stakes to calculate where the batter braces need to be, and then did our batter brace details in the office to give them elevations where to build those to.
When you built the beast, did you expect it to still be running 40 years later?
It's funny, we talked about it a lot when we were doing it. It was a hard project to do. We were fairly confident in John's formula that he had given us. We kind of knew it was going to work. We figured it was going to work. We knew it was going to work. Sort of. Yeah, we did. But when the first time that ride went around, Al was a very dry, quiet kind of guy. He'd been a surveyor his whole life. He didn't get excited about anything. He was not very animated. But when that rod came around and made it out of that helix and came up into the brake station, he got a little misty eye. So you can see that he was really, really proud that we had done that, and it worked. It's funny, when I also ran the accelerometer, we did an analog accelerometer tester with the coaster to run it to see what the lateral accelerations were and the longitudinal accelerations. We pretty much knew what the top and up and down were going to be. So while I had this big chart plotter thing out on the station, reading it and looking at it, they jumped in the train and took off. So I didn't even get to ride the first train around. So I'm looking at all the stuff, and here goes the train. So.
What considerations went into the elimination of the original lake water underneath the station and in shoreline?
Yeah, that's a great question. For those of you who were here at the park when it first opened, there was a war canoe ride there, where the beach station is. We actually had canoes that held 40 people. That 40 people could row these canoes around this lake. Well, we wanted to keep that lake and build the ride in the lake. So we actually built the station in the lake. The whole first turn coming out of the station was in the lake. All the way around, the base of the lift was in the lake. And then once you start going up the lift, we got out of the lake. So we wanted to keep that. The reason we took the lake out was because you all used it for a garbage can. People were throwing cups in it and throwing cigarette papers and cigarette butts. And we just could not keep the lake clean. There's no way to get in there to sweep the lake, so it was a huge, huge problem. So we filled in the lake mainly to keep the ride clean and keep from having a problem.
What suggestions do you have for people wanting to get into the industry?
Take as much math and science as you can. When I was growing up, I had no idea that I'd be working in an amusement park, let alone designing a ride. But I knew I loved math. I loved math and science. I took a lot of math all through grade school and high school. I took extra classes. I went early. I went to Moeller, and they had a school within a school, and we were able to go to school early and stay after late. I graduated in 3 years. I took as much math as I could get. So when I went to college, I had a whole bunch of college math already. So whatever you want to do in your career, if you have a lot of math and science training, it will transfer into anything you want to do. Whether you want to get into medical, whether you want to get into public relations, it doesn't matter. You will use math. So I highly recommend everybody take as much math.
How long does it take for the crews to check the track on the beast each morning?
All of the roller coasters are walked every inch of them every day. So before we open the ride, the mechanics actually walk every inch of the track. Rain or shine, it doesn't matter. The only thing that will get them off of the track is if we have thunderstorms. If there's lightning in the area, we will get them off and they won't do the walking. But they start walking way before daylight, and they have nowadays with LEDs, it's a lot easier to see. The lights are a lot brighter. but they used to use just plain old flashlights to see. So they're walking them every day. It takes about 4.5 to 5 hours a day to walk all of the wood roller coasters. The steel coasters are inspected every day from the ground, and they're walked, it depends on the ride and what the ride manufacturer wants. But they're walked the check track, about once a month, some once a week. So that's not as intense of a study as the woodies. You gotta remember, wood roller coasters tend to be you're building them all the time. That ride opened 40 years ago, and we hit and stopped constructing it. What happens is because you got all that steel on the top of the wood's not strong enough to keep that steel from going down into the wood. So you wind up replacing the top plies of a wood roller coaster track quite often, especially in the high-low areas. So we're actually rebuilding the top plies almost continuously. So we do a little bit. Any of you that ride the racer, we did the one side of the racer this past year, and they did it really, really smooth. Eventually that will go in. Now we're using harder woods. We're using Ipe, and there's a lot of other woods. Primarily woods that are grown near the desert, where they wind up having a whole bunch of silica. They're almost like concrete because they're growing in the desert, and all the wind blows all the sand into them while they're growing, and that sand becomes incorporated into the wood. And it's almost like cement. So we are doing a lot of that now, but that doesn't bend very easily because it's more like a block of concrete. You can't bow it as easy. So there's pluses and minuses to doing that.
Okay, a couple more for you here. What was the best part of making these?
Oh my gosh. I think just being able to do it all. I mean, it was so much fun to be able to design a ride and actually be involved in building the ride and then actually have the ride work and be as successful as it was. I mean, here we are all talking about at least 40 years ago, after it opened. I can't believe it. It doesn't seem like 40 years to me. It seems like we were just doing it yesterday. So to have something that has that much lasting appeal is really, really rewarding. It makes me feel really good to be a part of that.
And the final question, how much testing did the ride have to go through before you could put humans?
That ride didn't have a whole lot of testing. I mentioned I had the thing laying out on the tongue thing when people took off. Nowadays we test everything for hours and hours before we let anybody on. We actually we have to have 100 cycles, 100 rides with no faults. In other words, no sensor faults, no setups, and that's pretty much any ride. So that's 100 cycles with no problems whatsoever before we let us on the ride. So it's pretty intense. If you have one fault at ride 99, you start over again at 1. So you really want to make sure you get 100 good ones in so you can let people up.
All right, let's hear it for Jeff Gramke. All right, now at this time, if you have purchased one of the Beast 40th anniversary souvenir mugs and you would like for Jeff to sign it, come on up here.